Welcome back to this week's edition of the Torah Podcasts. This week's Parshas Mishpatim, Perich Avdal, Pasuk Yud Vayar Es Elokei Yisrael Atachas Raglav K'Maser Levinos As Up here. A little bit of a Kabbalistic idea this week. Hopefully we can bring it down to a practical and understandable level. HaKadosh Baruch Hu was sitting in heaven with stones of sapphire before him. Moshe Rabbeinu and Aaron and the Shivan Zakenim ascend the mountain. The Torah is filling us in with a couple more details about Har Sinai. And when they reach the top of the mountain, when they reach the peak, they see HaKadosh Baruch Hu, so to speak, with stones of sapphire in front of him. Rashi picks up on this, says, why did HaKadosh Baruch Hu keep stones of sapphire in front of him? Zogt Rashi, Haisa Lefanav B'Shas Hashibud, Hashem kept these bricks in front of him, these stones, brick-like stones in front of him, Lizkar Tzarash Shel Yisrael, to remember the pain of Yisrael. Because Klal Yisrael, the Jews, were enslaved with bricks in Egypt. So Hashem, in order to properly sympathize, to properly empathize with the Jews, with his nation, he kept these bricks in front of him. Rabbi Yerucham brings and develops the idea of Nosei Ba'ol Chavero. An idea that is perhaps for good and for bad, not discussed enough. The idea of bearing and sharing the burden of your friend. To feel what your friend is struggling with or celebrating, and to really go through it with him, to celebrate with him, to mourn with him, but to always be there for him. We see that HaKadosh Baruch Hu was sympathizing with his Jews, with his nation. When we're introduced to Moshe Rabbeinu, right at the beginning, when Moshe Rabbeinu was introduced to us, it says, Vayar b'sev loisam. Moshe Rabbeinu was walking out of the palace, and he walks outside and sees there's a nation, his nation, and they're struggling, and they're in pain, and they're schlepping bricks. Vayar b'sev loisam, and he saw their pain. Zokt Rashi, Nasan Einav, he placed his eyes, Vilibo and his heart, Lihios Meitzar Alehem. He gave his all. He did it like a full examination of their pain, and he analyzed their pain, and he went through it himself. He tried to feel what they were feeling. The shaila is on Rashi, L'chayr ma inyan hisbaininus. How does it mean to be misbonain, to think, to give thought, to analyze someone's pain? What does it mean to be misbonain, to do some elements of introspection in regards to pain? Rashi says that Moshe Rabbeinu gave thought to their pain. He made it firsthand for him. But we can easily understand that when you're thinking about something, about a Gemara, you're thinking about God, you're thinking about business, you can examine it from different angles and think about different ways that you can approach it. But in someone else's pain, how can we go through the pain more than just, or feel their pain more than just, I feel your pain? Zokt Rabbi Yerucham, something very interesting. We see from here that there's an inyan of really mulling over and trying to understand from all angles the inyan of someone else's pain, what someone else is going through. Moshe Rabbeinu, the Medrash says in Shmos Rabbah Parak Aleph, by Yarbis of Loisam, not only did he feel bad for them, but he went and picked up all of the sacks of bricks and started schlepping with them. Rabbi Yerucham says not because he was trying to help them. He wasn't going to, maybe it was some element of helping them, but it wasn't really going to get them anywhere fast just by schlepping one extra thing of bricks. Maybe there was some help there, but Zokt Rabbi Yerucham, because he wanted to physically and tangibly feel what they were going through. And as much as he could think about it and understand it, without actually having the bricks on his back, he couldn't properly feel his friend's pain. To be a leader in Klal Yisrael, to be a leader in anything, it's a must, this midah. The first midah we're introduced from Moshe Rabbeinu, according to my account of how we're introduced to him, is this idea of being nosei ba'oil chavero, to put yourself in your friend's shoes. V'yesh lehisorer mikan, there is to be inspired from this inyan about feeling what someone else is going through. That was the midah paranios, but we know that the midah toiva is 5,000-fold over the Midah Peronius. We have to take this Vart and apply it to good things. When your friend is celebrating, we give him the Groise Mazel Tov, Emir Hashem by you, or Mazel Tov, I'm so happy for you. I would be scared, and I don't know if we'd all be in this category, but to really give a detailed analysis of what we mean behind our Mazel Tovs. Thank God, most of our Mazel Tovs come from a good place. We always mean Mazel Tov. But it's a scary thing to think about what we mean in our Mazel Tovs, how sincere your Mazel Tov is, and are you really connecting yourself by that person's simcha? Are you really involved in their celebration? HaKadosh Baruch Hu, you're going to say a Chiddush now. We're going to say a new Vart from Rashi. This is Rabbi Yerucham's point. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, he didn't just understand and feel what his nation was going through, although he easily could. He kept the bricks in front of him. Something physical needs to be done. Moshe Rabbeinu picked up the sack of bricks to feel the proper noisei ba'oil chavero. A midah in Klal Yisrael is to feel what your friend is going through. We're saying now, it may not be enough just to say, oh wow, I'm sorry about your loss, or Mazel Tov, but to really noisein leiv lehisbonein on that person's life, on that person's success, and nebach rachman litzlan, that person's tsaris. We see this from Moshe, and we see this from HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and it's a midah that's needed. I remember when we reached a certain championship game, and one of my teammates who had worked his tail off to get there missed the game due to injury. And I remember before the jump ball looking at him at the sideline, sitting on the bench, not able to play, and I felt bad for him. Maybe I should have thought about it for a little bit longer and not just said, oh, stinks to be him, let's go out and go hit some shots. It maybe should have been a little bit more of, wow, what is it like to work so hard to get somewhere, but, and then not be a part of it? To be nice and labeless, and I am not suggesting that someone who has a headache to go over and say, wow, that's terrible, and hit yourself and slap yourself in the face so you can feel his headache. That's a little bit meshugana. But I am suggesting, according to this Rabbi Yerucham, that we go a step further in feeling someone else's successes, celebrations, and someone else's Rahman al-Islam tzaras. A moyru de Shabbos.